Justin Bieber is Hollywood royalty, but he just compared himself to a member of the real royal family, Diana, the late Princess of Wales. As one of the most famous superstars on the planet, Justin Bieber is no stranger to being followed and bombarded by paparazzi, but it looks like his patience is wearing thin. Last Friday morning, the Canadian pop star shared a video on Instagram that shows photographers swarming him outside what appears to be his Los Angeles home. The short clip, which has already racked up millions of views, shows a group of men, presumably paparazzi, following Bieber and actually snapping photos as flashbulbs go off literally non-stop. He wrote in the caption, "This has to stop," clearly frustrated. Now in the video, Bieber can be heard saying, "Look at these guys, man," while another voice repeatedly tells the crowd to watch out and back up. One of Bieber's 294 million Instagram followers commented saying, "Dang, I think this is the first celeb POV of paparazzi we've gotten. Really does show the perspective," with another person saying, "To think this has been happening to you since you were 13 is just absolutely insane." Now in a series of follow-up posts, Bieber reflected on the toll years of public life have taken on him, comparing his treatment to that of Princess Diana, as he declared, he's getting hit from all angles amid growing concern about his well-being. Princess Diana tragically passed away in a car crash while being chased by paparazzi in 1997. He wrote, "People have had to DIE because of this crap. Princess Diana is the first person that comes to mind." Bieber, who's originally from Ontario, Canada, lives in LA with his wife Hailey and their young son Jack Blues Bieber. But after sharing the video, fans flooded his comments urging him to move, many suggesting, that maybe he head back to Canada. But despite the suggestions, Bieber made it clear he's not going anywhere. He acknowledged the outcry by making another Instagram post that said, "I won't be bullied out of where I believe my influence is most needed," acknowledging, the darker side of Hollywood, but insisting he's trying to use his platform for good. He continued to say, "I want nothing to do with the transactional nature of this place, but I believe we can change things." The singer also posted a photo of a lion, writing, "I believe God is my lion." He admitted he's struggling with patience, even saying it can be really hard to not rip these effing guys' heads off, before emphasizing, that he's trying to forgive both himself and those who exploit him. Justin went on to say, "Today I'm forgiving myself for my own selfishness and forgiving those who seek to use and attack me simply because they want to capitalize off of me, or their jealousy makes them want to make me feel small like how they feel." He said, "However you slice it, I'm getting hit from all angles here." He then continued to say, "And I'm no victim. I moved to LA knowing it's messed up out here, but can we as a unit align with how messed it is out here and change this crap? Or are we gonna let these F-boys keep treating us like crap and not change laws or anything?" He concluded his little Instagram speech by saying, "We gotta do better. Please, can we make a change?" Well, Justin, while I agree with you for the most part, sadly, as we know, Hollywood is Hollyweird, and I'm doubtful a change will come anytime soon, but I hope he's able to reassess the situation if things get worse for him and make decisions that better himself and his family. Justin has been hit in the spotlight for more than a decade, having rose to fame when he was just a teenager. He's continued to attract attention in recent years, like over his personal life, and he's no stranger to being photographed out in public. Now his latest post comes after he shared more footage of himself and wife Hailey Bieber being met by paparazzi outside a property in a post uploaded hours prior. The footage was filmed from his perspective again, and he criticized paparazzi in a separate incident in which he said they didn't care about human beings earlier this month. And it shows him basically greeted by paparazzi on the street. Now, flashes of light are seen as photos are taken of the couple. Justin and Hailey are directed to a car parked nearby. Someone, thought to be maybe a member of their entourage, actually warns at one point, "Watch out, guys." And Justin is also heard saying himself, "Guys, can you just please back up?" As photographers stand in front of the vehicle while Justin gets closer, someone appears to say, "Yo, watch out." The video then briefly shows Hailey behind Justin as she gets into the car. Now, an apparent member of their team then appears to shine a torch towards paparazzi before saying, "You guys done? Go ahead, go." There's tension as words are exchanged, and then the video ends as Justin just gets into the car. Now, Justin was met with supportive messages from fans in the comments section of the post after showing his own perspective in the video. One person wrote, "No one deserves to be chased and blinded by by flashes just for existing. You're a human being, not a product. Sending you peace and privacy, Justin. A video showing Justin Bieber talking passionately at his wife Hailey during a trip to Las Vegas went viral on TikTok. In the video, the couple can be seen walking through a hotel with Justin throwing his hands in the air and kind of inaudibly yelling at Hailey while surrounded by their entourage. Now, while the video in question has now been taken down on TikTok, it swiftly amassed over 1 million views and is still making the rounds on Twitter. Initially, many fans assumed from Justin's body language that he was aggressively shouting at Hailey and tweeted in support of her. One person questioned why Justin was yelling at Hailey like she's a child in public, while another person said that, to casual viewers of the video, it appeared he was angry and yelling. However, a series of people who claim to have witnessed the event have suggested that Justin wasn't yelling at Hailey, but was simply just hyped up from his performance. One alleged bystander said, "He was not yelling, and we were there to witness what went down. He was all adrenaline. It doesn't matter, how it appears to you. Don't spread false information on someone, especially when you acknowledge, what it appears to just be you thinking that." Now, that's defamation of character. One person shared a video of Justin's performance to show his nature on stage, tweeting, "I took this of Justin right before that video was taken. He was on straight adrenaline from performing. He wasn't mad at Hailey and he wasn't yelling at her. I hate how he's always painted as the bad guy when he's the furthest thing from it." Many pointed out that the couple were holding hands in the video, suggesting that they weren't arguing at all. And the couple appeared to be happily reflecting on their weekend shortly after arriving home from the trip when Justin posted a Vegas show recap on Instagram, which Hailey swiftly reshared with the caption, "Best weekend ever." Justin Bieber reaches his absolute breaking point with paparazzi in Palm Springs ahead of Coachella. Now, Justin Bieber went on a wild, unprovoked tirade against the paparazzi while heading into a coffee shop with friends. In a video that went absolutely viral recently, the singer, who was in Palm Springs, California ahead of weekend one of Coachella, immediately covered his face when he noticed photographers with their cameras and phones recording him. One photographer said to Bieber, "Good morning," to which Justin replied, "No, not good morning. You already know. Why are you here?" The pop star then walked over to the paps and told them that they just want money. He said, "Money, money, 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 money." He repeated that while making, the pay me gesture with his fingers. He said, "Get out of here, bro. Money, that's all you guys want. You don't care about human beings." So he shouted that while covering, a man's phone from recording him. He then told them all to leave, but not before saying, "That's all you guys care about. It's money. You don't care about people, only money. You don't care about human beings at all." As the photographers backed up from the coffee shop, he then turned around and walked into the eatery with his friends. Hailey Bieber got really mad when she was mistaken for Gigi Hadid while out with Kendall Jenner at Fred Segal. Now, in the video clip that has circulated online everywhere basically, you can see the paparazzi standing outside watching as Kendall Jenner and Hailey Bieber walk towards what appears to be Kendall's car. Kendall is seen walking towards the car a few steps ahead of Hailey, and one paparazzo asked, "Gigi, who is your new boyfriend after Joe Jonas?" To which Hailey very embarrassing says something like, "I'm not Gigi." Another brave and bold paparazzi person said, "Hailey, are you upset that Justin Bieber is back with Selena?" To which Hailey just shakes her head. The funniest part about all of this though is that after Hailey says she's not Gigi, the same paparazzo says, "Bella?" like as in her sister. This hilarious moment caught on camera is a true testament to the things people have said all along. No one really knew who Hailey was until she literally became Justin Bieber's wife. Justin Bieber accused paparazzi of shooting upskirt shots of Hailey. Now, Justin Bieber publicly confronted paparazzi for allegedly taking upskirt photos of his wife, Hailey Baldwin, during a night out in West Hollywood. The couple went out to the Nice Guy restaurant and lounge in West Hollywood. Later, while exiting the club and entering a private bus, paparazzi swarmed the couple, quickly snapping photos, much to Justin's dismay. Now, after they entered and the doors started closing, the singer turned around, opened the doors, and confronted the photographers. Bieber expressed his concern and felt the photographers were intentionally trying to embarrass Hailey. Calm, but a bit annoyed, he asked, "Are you guys shooting underneath her skirt?" The photographers rushed to their defense, saying, "Oh my God, please, Justin," said one of them. Another one asked, "Why would someone shoot under her skirt?" Justin replied, "That's the question, right?" Well, one photographer basically wondered, "Why would we do that?" Another one said, "Come on, bro, look at the videos. Hey, bro, I hope you have a good night, man. Bro, no one would do that, brother." A source involved in the incident said that no one was trying to get any up the skirt photos. The insider noted that while photographers had to go underneath a curtain barrier set up on the sidewalk to get any shots of the couple, there was no intention of an underskirt shot. He felt the photographers were intentionally trying to just embarrass her, and he actually found that their behavior was quite disrespectful and invasive, especially for women. Justin Bieber slammed the car door in his wife's face while arriving at Zinc Cafe. A couple that works out issues together stays together, but that doesn't seem to be the case for Justin and Hailey Bieber. This is evident in a clip where Justin seems to slam the car door right in Hailey's face. Now in this clip, Justin really appears to be in his own world and operates almost as if Hailey doesn't exist. When Justin gets out of the car, he slams the door in Hailey's face and walks aggressively forward with his head tilted downward and his lips pursed shut. Now a body language expert spoke on this incident and said his body language communicates anger and unhappiness and appears as if he's so consumed by his emotions that he doesn't even realize Hailey is behind him when he slams the door on her. Hailey, on the other hand, tried to play it cool, seemingly aware that all eyes were on them. It's as if, she wasn't fazed at all, but according to the expert, this might just mean she's used to brushing off this kind of behavior. The expert said, interestingly, Hailey exits the car in a relaxed manner with a calm face, her body language indicating that she's not surprised by his behavior and perhaps is used to it. Now, based on the couple's body language in this clip, it's possible that when Justin is feeling emotional, he unintentionally ignores Hailey or keeps her at a distance. Honestly, I have secondhand embarrassment for her. Justin Bieber snapped at fans who were camped outside his home. When he approached the fans, he abruptly said, "This is not a hotel, guys, it's my home." He later posted on Instagram saying, "How do you convince yourself it's not completely inappropriate and disrespectful to wait outside my home to gawk, stare, and take pictures as I walk into my apartment?" Now the question, which featured no additional information or context at all, it was followed by a pic basically commemorating his Billboard Music Award win for 10,000 Hours with Dan and Shay, which, picked up top country song. Bieber does actually have reason though to be paranoid about people kind of loitering outside the homes that he shares with Hailey, because he's had a number of individuals make their way onto his property in the recent years. Justin Bieber and Hailey Baldwin get into a heated argument at hot yoga. Now Justin Bieber and Hailey got very testy with each other when they went to hot yoga. Perhaps the 100-degree temperature got to them, maybe. Justin appeared to be upset as the couple left the yoga studio. Hailey was hiding her face, perhaps to shield from showing tears. Now Hailey was wearing a really cute neon yellow ensemble, biker shorts, and a sports bra. Now the couple left the Beverly Hills studio in their Lamborghini SUV to head home. Later that evening, Justin went for a late night ride on his motorcycle to clear his head after the fight. Justin Bieber ditched Hailey on a skateboard and she fell trying to catch up with him in Times Square. A few years back when they were in New York, they were leaving a venue at Times Square when Justin got escorted through a barricade to leave the huge crowd surrounding them. He actually crawled through the small space to go onto the street and then quickly hopped on his skateboard and just kind of skated off. Either he forgot Hailey was behind him or he just didn't care, because Hailey then rushed to go catch up to him. She also crawled through that tiny space, but she started tripping on herself and tripped on her way out and ended up falling down completely. You can hear someone in the background saying, "Hailey, oh, don't fall." And then, of course, she fell. She did embarrassingly quickly get back up on her feet and she began to literally run after him. People online couldn't stop watching the video footage of it and took to social media to say that Justin could honestly just care less about her, and just how embarrassing it is for Hailey to literally be chasing him around all over the city like that. It still kind of lives rent-free in our minds. It probably does in hers too.
Starting off our list at number 10 is Justin Bieber. There's been a few occasions where the pop star has lost his cool on the paparazzi, but one of them almost led to a physical altercation. On Friday, March 8th, back in 2013, he was making his way to his car in London when he started to push the paparazzi around. He was with his bodyguard, and to avoid having his picture taken, he pushed any photographer that was in his way of his car door. That's when the photographer started to say that's assault and told him to F off and go back to America. He even called him an effing little moron. His words, not mine.
What'd you say? What'd you say?
Justin was in the car when he said it, but he must have heard him because he stormed out of the car and lunged at the photographer, attempting to make some physical contact with him, but he was restrained by his bodyguard. Bieber told the guy, I quote, "I'll effing beat the F out of you." Bieber continues to verbally attack the man while trying to get to him physically, but his team ends up escorting him back into the car. Up next at number 9 is Russell Brand. He's known to be a feisty guy to begin with, so you can only imagine how he would react to someone who's trying to snatch an inappropriate inappropriate picture of his woman. That's right, back in 2010, the actor was with his wife at the time, Katy Perry, and they were making their way through LAX. He noticed that one of the paparazzi photographers were trying to take pictures up Katy's dress, and that's when he came to her defense and lashed out on the man. He pushed him down and grabbed at his camera, but did not stick around for any altercation. He kinda like ran off. However, someone at the airport made a citizen's arrest and he was detained until police arrived. The victim had placed the actor under private person's arrest, and Brand was charged with battery and forced to pay $13,000 bail to free himself. Katy later took it to Twitter and said, I quote, "If you cross the line and try and put a lens up my dress, my fiance will do his job and protect me." So at their number 8 spot is Kanye West. This does not surprise me one bit. It is no secret that the man basically walks around doing whatever he wants to whoever he wants. Hence the whole steal the microphone from Taylor Swift thing. But his actions finally had consequences after he was charged with misdemeanor battery and attempted grand theft for attacking a paparazzo. Apparently that is what they call these people. And he also attempted to steal his camera. Kanye was walking through LAX in 2008 and he was not in the mood to deal with the paparazzi, or one of them in particular. He ended up getting into a physical scruff with the cameraman and was trying to literally steal his camera from him, telling him to let go of it. At one point he even puts him in a headlock, trying to get him to release the camera. Kanye ends up backing off of the man who still had his camera, but the judge sentenced him to serve 2 years probation for the misdemeanor battery conviction. He was also required to attend 24-hour anger management sessions and perform 250 hours of community service and pay restitution to the victim. So he basically lost that entire thing. At number 7 is Britney Spears. May we never forget her bald head circa. Back in 2007, shortly after the whole head shaving incident, she attacked a paparazzo and his SUV. She was in her friend's vehicle at a gas station where she was swarmed by photographers who were trying to take pictures of her inside the car. She reached her breaking point and then went on the attack. What was her weapon of choice? An umbrella, of course. She started swinging her umbrella viciously at the photographer, which ended up leaving a big mark on his back. It was all caught on tape, but then she went for his Ford Explorer and began smashing whatever she could as she repeatedly yelled, "F you." She ended up dropping the umbrella and then sped off in her friend's car. A few months later, she ended up apologizing on her website, and down the road in 2017, the photographer started to auction off the umbrella. Yes, he kept it, and now he is trying to make some cash off of it by starting it off at $50,000. No reports were made that it was sold, and Britney never commented on it. Next up in the number 6 spot is Chris Martin. The Coldplay singer has made headlines on multiple occasions, like the time he allegedly smashed the windshield of a photographer's car, or when he was accused of purposely hitting a paparazzo with his car, like literally running him over. Every incident lands him on this list today, but one personal physical attack was completely random and very uncalled for, and it was all caught on tape. He was leaving the hospital with his wife at the time, Gwyneth Paltrow, who was in the car before he even walked out. One paparazzi congratulated him and asked if everything was okay, but instead of responding, he attacks a different cameraman, pushing him down to the floor, saying, "Have some respect."
Hey Chris, thanks for the video. You give it back to him or this door's getting broken. Give the camera back to him.
He ends up grabbing the camera from him as he's lying down on the road and tries to get in his car with it. The man, along with another cameraman, got to him before getting in the car and told him that they will break his car door if he doesn't give it back. He ends up giving it back, probably in hopes that he doesn't get charged for everything that was just caught on videotape by the other man, who said to him, "Thanks for the video, Chris." Halfway through our list, at number 5 is Hugh Grant. Some celebs use their fists to fight off paparazzi, some of them use their car, some of them throw objects, and some of them even spit. But not Hugh Grant. Nope, he kicks them in the nuts. Well, he also throws things. He got arrested back in 2007 for throwing a container of beans at a cameraman. But when it comes to a physical altercation, he goes for the groin. In 2009, video footage surfaced of him walking through New York with a friend. He was being followed by some paparazzi as per usual, and they seemed to be getting along. He was laughing with them at first, but ended up attacking one of them and just kicked him in the crotch for no apparent reason. The guy was so thrown off he didn't even know how to respond. He did respond with, "Ouch, good thing I put my hand there." He also threatened to go find a cop and said that he has other witnesses. But Hugh looks completely unbothered the entire time and just casually walks away. Here we are at number 4 with Gerard Butler. Back in 2008, the actor was being investigated after he allegedly attacked a photographer, aka paparazzi, and left him with a bloody mouth. The cameraman filed a police report accusing him of punching him several times in the face and cutting his lip to a point where he needed stitches. Apparently, the paparazzo was tailing him in his car after the actor left a restaurant in LA, and Hugh got out of his car and punched him in the face 3 to 4 times. He had to go to the hospital to get stitches on his lip. The man also accused him of grabbing him by the throat and kicking his car. He did end up being charged with a misdemeanor criminal battery, like some others on this list. They should just have like a little club at this point. Alright guys, at number 3 is Lamar Odom. The NBA superstar had a lot of people confused back in 2013 when a video surfaced of him going a little crazy in the streets of LA. Apparently he had an issue with a paparazzo and found his car parked on the side of a street. Lamar didn't care that the street was busy with LA tour buses and residents, and he started to lash out and go through the photographer's car. I guess the pap asked him about his affair on Chloe, and that's when he went berserk. He ended up yelling at the man and took all of his camera equipment out of his car and tossed it into the middle of the street. Like literally in the middle of the road where cars were driving by. It was chaos. It was all of the man's camera equipment, and Lamar took it a step further by going up to it and smashing anything that wasn't already broken. Fans were standing by confused watching the entire thing happen, and at the end of the video a fan asks for a picture with him and he just calmly smiles with her in a selfie. It's like really strange to watch. He was charged with a misdemeanor vandalism charge, but they were dropped after he agreed to pay for everything that he broke. In spot number 2 is Bjork. You wouldn't really expect the singer to be a firecracker, but people were left in shock after seeing footage of her attacking a reporter at the airport back in 1996. The footage doesn't even look real. Honestly, I can't even believe that it happened this way. You have to watch it. She landed in New Zealand with her young daughter, who was also with her when she made the attack. She looked tired and frustrated by the amount of cameras that were swarming her, but the reporter was standing by her car and simply welcomed her to New Zealand. Like literally, she's just said welcome to New Zealand, and that's when she basically turned into the Hulk. She viciously attacks the woman, pushing her to the floor, punching her, pulling her hair, everything. It was literally complete madness. She ended up apologizing to the reporter later on and also released a public apology statement. However, the reporter ended up not pressing any charges. Taking the number 1 spot on our list is Alec Baldwin. He definitely deserves this one. There's too many paparazzi attacks to name when it comes to this actor. We'd probably need a part 2 list dedicated just to him. But his attack in 2013 had people feeling some type of way since he was a new father at the time. That's the thing though, he was super protective of his wife at the time and even more protective of his little girl, which is why he lost it when a pap was trying to take some pictures of the couple and their newborn baby just a day after she was born. Alec ended up attacking him, pinning him to the hood of a car, trying to grab his camera from him, all while punching and kicking him. Photos surfaced which showed the entire attack, and he was charged with misdemeanor battery. This isn't his first charge either. He was also charged after he attacked a pap and smashed his phone on the ground. He has a list of paparazzi battles, all of which he seems to have won. Probably because no one would ever assault the actor since they know that they would lose that case in a heartbeat.
Starting off this countdown, we have Miley Cyrus. In 2011, Miley Cyrus was leaving a restaurant in West Hollywood with her mom when the paparazzi came rushing up towards them. One of the pops ended up brushing by Miley's mom to get a better shot at Miley, and she did not like that one bit.
What the heck? Are you serious? There you go, calm down. You just hit my mom. I didn't hit your mom. Yeah, you ran into my mom with your camera. You just ran into my mom with your camera.
Miley got very defensive for her mom, telling the paparazzi off. She said, and I quote, "You just hit my mom with your camera. Don't you ever do that again. You just almost hurt my mom. Don't you ever even think about it for real." Now, I personally don't think Miley did anything wrong here. She's a strong woman concerned for her mom's safety. In fact, Miley has never feared the paparazzi. She has even called them out a number of times and has expressed how frustrated she feels with how intrusive they are. In our 9th spot today, we have Alec Baldwin. Boy, oh boy, when hasn't Alec Baldwin got into a fight with the pops? It happens so frequently that I've literally lost track. One incident occurred in 2013 in New York City. Apparently, Alec got upset with the paparazzi and flipped out at them. It ended with them shoving each other, and the police actually was called. The Pops argues that he was just doing his job, asking him normal questions, when Baldwin just flipped out. A couple months prior to this incident, Baldwin got in another altercation with a photographer after they asked him about a lawsuit regarding his wife. Baldwin has also been known to cuss out paparazzi. He has been caught calling them vermin and anti-gay slurs. The most recent altercation occurred in 2021 in New York City after the fatal Rust shooting he was a part of. The paparazzi was hounding him with questions, and Alec, who had an umbrella in his hand, kind of just came at him, pointing it. Then quickly he retreated inside. Now, this is quite tame to the other stuff that he's done to the paparazzi in the past.
Mr. Baldwin, who's here?
please go away.
This is not anyone's room.
In our 8th spot, we have Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber is another celebrity that has had a number of run-ins with the paparazzi. Back in 2012, Bieber was out with his then girlfriend Selena Gomez when he got into a fight with the paparazzi. It resulted in him attacking the paparazzi, and he lost his hat and one of his shoes during this altercation. The police and an ambulance were called to the scene, but the man was okay and didn't press any charges. Then in March of 2013, Bieber got into another fight with the paparazzi. This time it happened while he was in London. Allegedly, Bieber pushed the man out of his way while trying to make it to his car. The photographer got mad and said, "F off, back to America, effing little moron." That's when Justin lost his cool. He opened the car door and just went after this man. He said, "I'll effing beat the F out of you." Obviously, he didn't just say F, like he said the actual curse word, but wow, Bieber, wow. In our 7th spot today, we have Russell Brand. In 2010, while Brand was dating Katy Perry, the two were spotted headed to his car after a date night. It actually is very uncomfortable to watch. Like, you can tell Katy is so uncomfortable with everyone just around her and asking questions and snapping photos. As the pair gets into their car, Brand gets very frustrated that the paparazzi are still following them. So he jumps out of the car and proceeds to shove the paparazzi out of the way. He also started to threaten them. In fact, after this altercation, Brand was arrested for battery. He was arrested at Los Angeles International Airport after attacking one of the photographers. According to Brand, though, he got mad at this photographer because he spotted him trying to shoot up Katy's skirt. So he was just trying to defend his fiancée. In our 6th spot, we have Kanye West. Kanye West is another celebrity that has come after the pops on a number of occasions. He's not afraid to push them out of his way or cuss them out. But one encounter in 2013 got very, very violent. Kanye got physical with a photographer at LAX when he kept hounding him with questions. Kanye got upset with him and lunged at the camera, trying to take it out of the pop's hands, putting him into a headlock and getting him on the ground. And the other photographers capture this moment. The photographer reportedly was sent to the hospital after this altercation.
Moments later, as Kanye lunges at the photographer, who records the entire incident. Photos capture the dramatic confrontation. This one of Kanye apparently trying to wrestle the camera out of the paparazzo's hands. And here, Kanye appears to put the paparazzo in a headlock.
Now, apparently this is the same guy that Britney Spears got in a feud with a few years ago as well, and banged up his car with that umbrella. Like, this dude needs to find a new hobby. We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with Jude Law. According to paparazzi Harsha Gopal, she was taking photos of Jude Law when he turned around and just smacked her across the face. This occurred in 2009 as Jude was leaving a restaurant in London. She says that the attack was completely unprovoked. She was with fellow paparazzi when Jude just turned around and struck her. Jude, on the other hand, claims that it was completely accidental. He claims that the camera lights were so bright that he couldn't see, so he raised his hand to cover his eyes and accidentally hit someone. People managed to capture this moment on film, and is Jude telling the truth? Was it an accident? I don't know. Well, Harsha had this to say, and I quote, "It was deliberate. You could see it in his face. Maybe he didn't realize he was hitting a girl, but he could at least apologize," end quote. In our 4th spot today, we have Lindsay Lohan. In 2010, Lindsay Lohan got heated after paparazzi swarmed her car while at an airport in Milan. So she decided to roll down her window and chuck a drink at them.
Damn, oh Lindsay, don't do that, that hurts. Why are you throwing cans on people? Are you okay? That's beer.
The pops then proceed to harass Lohan, asking why she had a beer in the car with her in the first place. Now, this isn't the first time that Lohan has thrown stuff at the paparazzi. In 2009, Lohan was greeted with paparazzi waiting outside of her gated home. They were lifting their cameras over her fence so that they could take pictures of her. So Lindsay decided to throw eggs at them. Sadly, none of the eggs actually hit them. They just landed on the ground, by them, or on her driver's Rolls Royce. our third spot today, we have Prince Harry. When Prince Harry was younger, he was a rebellious bad boy. He got caught doing a number of scandalous things. One of them being getting into a fight with the paparazzi. Now, as we know, a number of celebrities get in fights with the paparazzi, but for a member of the royal family to get into a scuffle, it's like 10 times worse because of their title. They have to act royal at all times. Anyways, when Harry was 20 years old, he was leaving a nightclub when he got into a fight with the paparazzi who was waiting outside. It resulted in Harry punching the guy in the face. Now, Harry claimed that he was just defending himself, but the paparazzi has a different story. He says that the attack was unprovoked. He was just doing his job. Harry got mad at the cameras being up in his face and he took a swing at him. In our second spot today, we have Hugh Grant. In 2007, actor Hugh Grant went off at the paparazzi. At around 10 a.m., Hugh Grant got mad at Ian Whitaker, which is one of the paparazzi members, who was waiting outside of Grant's home. He was just trying to snap a few photos of him and his ex-girlfriend, Liz Hurley. Now, I guess Grant was not having it because next thing you know, he's kicking and attacking the photographer. Allegedly, he kicked him 3 times before kneeing him in the groin. To top it all off, he picked up a family-sized tub of beans and threw it at the photographer. He was left covered in bruises and baked beans. To top it all off, as the photographer was limping away, Grant apparently asked him if he had kids. The photographer said yes, too. And Grant replied with, "I hope they die of effing cancer." In the end, Hugh Grant was arrested for assault. And in our number 1 spot today, we have Sean Penn. Now, if you know Sean Penn, then you know that he does not like paparazzi at all. In fact, he doesn't even like it when fans take photos of him. But that's a whole other story on its own, because he literally broke a fan's phone for taking a photo of him. Anyways, in this incident that occurred back in 2009, Sean was headed to his car when a photographer was standing close by. Out of nowhere, he walked up to the man, kicked him in the leg, and then broke his camera. As a result, he was charged and sentenced to 36 months of probation, including 300 hours of community service.
Number 10, Lindsay Lohan. Lindsay Lohan was in the news for a lot of reasons in the early 2010s, whether it was her mental breakdown or her party escapades. The paparazzi was right there, ready to capture every little moment on camera. One night, Lindsay was in a van when it collided with a member of the paparazzi, smashing into the side door. The driver of the car was rushed to the hospital and an investigation took place, but it was ultimately revealed that the only person who was actually at fault was the driver of Lindsay's van. She's famous. Did you actually think that she drove her own vehicles? Despite the paparazzi clearly attempting to photograph Lohan at the time of the crash, like they're the reason it happened, the incident was chalked up to, look where you're going next time. I don't know, the driver of the van, Raymond Ortega, claims that Lindsay didn't even check to make sure that he was okay when he crashed into that car. Hey man, she was just a bit too focused on the man she just hit. Number 9, Kanye West. Kanye may claim to love the paparazzi, but his track record has shown anything but that. In 2013, well before Mr. Yeet canceled himself on Twitter, he was involved in an investigation set in place by the LAPD after it was reported by a paparazzo that Kanye had struck him and a fellow troll, paparazzi, one night at LAX. When Kanye got off a plane, he was being photographed by numerous photographers. So many people were surrounding him. One man named Daniel Ramos was particularly close to Kanye, and he did not appreciate Dan getting in his personal space. A video shows Kanye rushing at Ramos and attempting to grab his camera. Ultimately, the LAPD decided not to press any charges, but the case was referred to a city attorney who filed misdemeanor charges against the rapper. This wasn't the first time that this type of thing had happened to Mr. Yee. In 2008, he was involved in a similar confrontation with another paparazzo. The rapper smashed his camera and was subsequently arrested on charges of felony, and on top of a few smaller charges that forced him to serve 50 hours of community service. Number 8, Britney Spears. As many know, Britney began a downward spiral health-wise in 2007. After her divorce from Kevin Federline, she not only shaved her head, but she went on a rage-fueled rampage across the city, taking down anyone in her path, like Godzilla or something. After being swarmed by photographers at a gas station in LA, she went on a rampage, wielding an umbrella and swinging it at them over and over, and even hitting one of their cars, smashing the window. She also also hurled expletives at anyone and everyone who had a camera, eventually launching her umbrella towards the crowd. This was the main incident that landed her in a psychiatric hold, but the paparazzi captured every single moment of it on camera, so the only thing the world saw of her for a bit was this mess. Let's hope she's doing better now. Number 7, Hugh Grant. When people see Hugh Grant, they think rom-com sweetheart, the bad guy from Dungeons and Dragons, or soon it's gonna be Oompa Loompa. It's just a creepy image. Just don't watch that trailer. But anybody with the news in 2008 remembers him as a bean waster. A paparazzo named Ian Whitaker was following Hugh around his neighborhood trying to snap as many quality pics as possible. Grant noticed him and walked over to ask him to leave. I'm just kidding, he walked over and started kicking the heck out of him. 3 times to be more specific, before he literally kneed him in the groin. He then picked up and opened a family-sized can of baked beans and just chucked it at Ian like he was launching a nade into the battlefield. He then stood over the photographer like a freaking Bond villain and he asked him, "Do you have any children?" And when he said yes, Grant said something that I'm not allowed to say on the internet. It was just that messed up. He's scary. Police were eventually called to his home where he was arrested and charged with, well, he physically kneed a guy. So it was in the most sensitive area ever. If anything, they should have taken him to jail forever. That hurts so much. Number 6, Will Smith. That's right, Will Smith is on this list for slapping someone, but it's not Chris Rock. I just figured we all know about that one. Hey, it's why he was canceled. What are we talking about today? Oh yeah, an incident on the red carpet that left one paparazzo with a big red mark on his face. Will was walking the red carpet at his Men in Black 3 premiere, giving people interviews when a Ukrainian comedian named Vitaly Sejik approached him. A man who is unfortunately famous for being an absolutely disgusting person towards celebrities. He pretended to be a reporter and he began interviewing Will Smith. He suddenly pulled himself towards Smith and he tried to kiss him on the cheek in his mouth, and Will obviously shoved him back and gave him a little, "Hey bud, what the just a little backhand to the face, nothing major, and then he was gone. A team of security following Mr. Smith picked this guy up and carried him away like the little toddler that he was. Who knew Will was practicing for his Oscar slap all the way back then? Number 5, Justin Bieber. Justin is no stranger to the paparazzi. They basically filmed every terrible moment of his adolescence so that he can just go online, Google himself, and cry whenever he wants. Back in 2013, the Biebs was on tour in London when the paparazzi caught wind of his location. They followed him around the city everywhere he went. One day, Justin was trying to get into his SUV when a paparazzo yelled something at him. Probably something gross and rude. Honestly, the video I watched was a little muffled, so who knows? You know how the paparazzi are though. Bieber was about to close the door shut, but he opened it back up and he took a swing and said, "Hey, what'd you say, man? What'd you say? I'll beat the F out of you." And he looked like a child doing it. It's not a great move, but it was understandable as the camera person clearly made contact with Justin before spouting whatever nonsense they were spouting. The photographer tried to press charges, but the cops were just kind of like, excuse me, mate, that's Justin Bieber. What's the point? Unfortunately for the Biebs, memes were becoming very popular in the early 2010s. Thousands of Photoshop pictures were spread across the internet, and Justin cemented himself as a paparazzi go-to, because they were like, he's easy to gaslight, let's do it. Number 4, Sean Penn. This is an older entry, but it's still worth talking about because it's kind of neat. Shortly before his marriage to Madonna in 1985, Sean Penn noticed a helicopter hovering around his Malibu beach home. Once he realized that it was filled with paparazzi trying to snap pictures of him, Sean took matters into his own hands. He walked down to the beach and carved a message out in 20-foot letters that said, "Forget you." Remember that song? Nah, I'm just kidding. It said, "Fuck you." If that wasn't enough of a message for them, he decided to double down by grabbing his personal safety bang bang and fired it into the air. According to guests at their home at the time, Sean came back and said, "I would be very excited to see one of those choppers crash and burn." This guy sounds like a James Bond bad guy. Seriously, he could team up with the other dude. "I would very much enjoy watching you burn, Mr. Bond." This wasn't the first or last time that Sean would get a little bit extreme with the paparazzi. At least those guys were in a helicopter. In 2008, Sean reportedly kicked and punched a paparazzo who was trying to snap pictures outside of a hotel that he was staying at in Beverly Hills. Apparently, the guy went through his trash to get the information on where he was, so got what he deserved. People blasted Sean for being physical, but come on, if someone popped up at your house after finding your information in a trash can, wouldn't you want to kick them too? Just Number 3. Tobey Maguire. Ever since he first squeezed his face into our lives in the original live-action Spider-Man franchise, Tobey has been seen as a quiet man who gives off a calm uncle vibe. As such, he's been casted in many roles following Spider-Man that leaned into that tendency. You know, Nick Carraway in the film Great Gatsby, and well, that's about the best example I've got. However, as the years went on and paparazzi began swarming Tobey at every opportunity, he's been pegged as an angry man who just hates having his picture being taken. In one video that has since gone viral, Tobey is swarmed by the paparazzi while trying to drive out of a parking lot in LA. He yells at the paparazzi to move after he had politely asked them to, accidentally slamming a door into a cameraman in frustration. Since then, anyone with a camera is seen as a threat to Tobey, so much so that he will either give you the most horrifying glare of your life if he sees you taking a picture of him, or he'll just straight up take your camera away. Like, how mean can you be just to snap someone's phone out of their hand? If you did it with a web though, that would be a different story. Number 2. Nicole Kidman. Nicole Kidman is a wonderful actor, but apparently she does not make a good caution cone. In 2013, she was trying to enter the Carlyle Hotel in Manhattan after returning home from a Calvin Klein show at New York Fashion Week. You know, just your average Tuesday. Suddenly, a notorious paparazzo crashed into Nicole going full speed on his bicycle. In the video, it looks like he tries to make a half-hearted attempt to stop himself, but like, get off the sidewalk, dude! It's not called the side bike! I'm sorry, if I write it, I have to read it. Freelance photographer Carl Wu was lucky this time. Despite knocking her to the ground and her threatening to press charges, the police decided not to arrest him and instead issued a ticket for riding his bike on the sidewalk. They said an accident's an accident, but this dude was literally holding a massive camera and trying to take pictures of Nicole while he was riding a bike. If I jog into someone I was staring down while holding a battle axe, is that an accident or just a clever way to get revenge on the guy who cut me off at No Frills? It was my turn! Nicole walked away with no injuries, and it was revealed that this was not Carl's first interaction with celebrities in such an outlandish way. He ran into Lady Gaga at an awards show the year before, behaving inappropriately to say the least. A Tumblr page was made for Carl called FU Carl Wu, and there is a word that you haven't heard in a bit. Tumblr. In 2023, that's the name of those fancy adult sippy cups. And at number 1, Leonardo DiCaprio. Capping off our list is the Wolf of Wall Street himself, Mr. Leonardo DiCaprio. Leo's had a few run-ins with paparazzi over the years. In fact, in 2014, he fell victim to that Ukrainian prankster that tried to kiss Will Smith. Only this time, the guy decided to snuggle up to Leo's nether regions. But he actually handled that situation pretty well. He laughed it off, and I swear he's mouthing the words, "I love this guy." Well, that guy got tossed out like a napkin, and it's not why he's on this list. The year before, Leo was on his way to meet up with his Wolf of Wall Street co-star Jonah Hill for lunch when he decided to pull a little pranky poo on Jonah. He ran up to him with his phone, screaming like a crazy fan, and it only took Jonah 2 seconds to realize what was going on, but according to him, his Wolf of Wall Street buddy basically gave him a heart attack. He was beyond scared. When the news found out that tiny piece of information that Jonah was a little scared, the paparazzi blew it up into Leo almost takes out Jonah Hill. There was way too much of a scandal caused from what was just a light-hearted, fun moment between friends. Yeah, I know that's not really a crazy one, but I just wanted to end this list on a lighter note.